매번 티켓은 훨씬 잘했다고 갈구더니 뭐가 뭔지 모르겠네. 싱클레어 그 자식 가르쳐주는 거 보니까 아예 다른 검술이잖아. 뭐 됐나? 어차피 집 나가신 요시에다 그자의 검술만 베끼면 되니까 시킨 대로만 하자. 시킨 대로만.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamak. This is Limbo's Company, and well, we have a new House of Spiders ID to check out, don't we?
난 이미 기다릴 만큼 기다렸어. 이제야 좀 이 개같은 추위에서 벗어나나 싶더니 고작 그 애새끼 하나 때문에 티켓이 백지 쪼가리가 됐다고? 지랄도 정도껏 해야지.
She's not having a good day. So apparently, according to these notifications,
벌써 저녁이잖아. 늦게 들어왔다고 스승님한테 개같이 처맞겠네.
improve the mechanics of items that can instantly upgrade an identity to Uptie 4 to show the Uptie 3 animated Uptie cutscene. Okay, so we're gonna try that out. If we go to our new identity, or maybe we need to go to the inventory for this. Take off module ID.
지금 네가 뭘 잊었는지, 뭘 희생하고 온 건지 알아? 처음 검을 쥔 날부터 네 놈을 데리고 돌아온 그날까지 내가 얼마나 엣지중지 갈고 닦았는데 이 배은망덕한 새끼가!
I was going to look at what her stats are like before uptying. Whoops. Oh well. You have not entered an entanglement. That's a relief. Relief? Fuck that ticket. Exactly which part of that is a relief? We got nothing. No results, no progress, nothing at all. Not even a half-decent excuse for the central bastards who wouldn't stop crawling up my ass. This isn't what I came back for. I said I would do as I was told. That I wouldn't dare think of leaving again. So why? Why must you people do this to Yoshihide? I understand the sorrow that has condensed within you, yet now that you have sought refuge under our wings, fleeing the shadow of the fingers, you know, as I do, that no gentler road remains within the arithmetic of these circumstances. Huh. Fine, Ticket. Let's get right down to it. Want to know why we're doing this, huh? It's your fault. Don't you know this whole mess is up on you? Wandering out there, chasing some stupid-ass star that wasn't even supposed to be yours. You didn't just make a bad call. You made the worst call, choosing the Dahui Starblade over the Tianjia stars. You wouldn't have had to lock that damn brat up in the time vault if you just listened. That would be enough, Rodion. And I do hope you will understand as well, dearest daughter of ours. This will be a far better prospect for that child too. Yoshihide's aptitude to sense the flow of time is impressive indeed, perhaps even comparable to yours. If we'd had enough absolute time, perhaps we could have gradually let the perspective settle within her. But we do not, which is why we must press the process forward, even if we must induce a temporal entanglement. Let us check again in 2 days. You're going to put her through that again? No, I'll take her Fucking hell, couldn't listen to another second there. Crap. I've had it with this sob story routine. But buddy! Oh, can it, will ya? Only knocked her out. Shut your trap and mind your own business. Rodion, where are you going? I don't need to tell you anything. You like to wander off without telling anyone shit too, don't ya? Go fuck yourself. Feels just like yesterday you were snobbing and sniveling into your mummy's arms. And now you're all grown up. Stuff a brat in a time vault for a while and it'll shoot right up like a freaking weed. Hey, does that vault come with bedtime milk on tap or something? I've been wondering what you were up to. Booze, huh? Figures. Those bottles look old as hell. Didn't this stuff inside go bad? Heh, still a brat on the inside, huh? Now this is the kind of stupid that pisses me off. Booze doesn't go bad. Ever heard of aging? Alright then. Never thought that stuttering ahem with her ego and the clanking tin girl could stop you anyway. But the other nurse fathers, no way in hell you whacked them all and got this far on your own. Heathcliff carefully chimed in to explain what he'd witnessed. The Pinky nurse father and Sinclair. They betrayed and turned on us. Oh wait, that was Heathcliff. Is she dead? Not the last time I saw her, Master. She was still engaged in a battle. Yeah, that's whatever then. The other nurse fathers are all washed up morons, but they won't lose to Ticket. Believe what you want, you'll get to meet the other three in hell soon enough. Ask them what happened then. Anyhow, Pinky nurse father? Did another one join your ranks while I was gone? What? Wait a minute, that sword. Why the hell do you have that sword? I realized while facing you with the armor limit and the style would be a losing bet. So, I learned a new sword fighting style. This sword was given to me then. And who gave it to you? Oh, don't bother hunting them down. I don't remember well, but they're already dead. An errant rage swelled within Rodion. She trembled like she was about to burst, but she didn't know why. She couldn't. But rather than asking herself what had set fire to this wrath, or why it burned with such an inexorable intensity, do you think that it might be... Do you think it might be Capo Mersault? Or Lei Heng? Do you even have any idea who you forgot? What you threw away to get this far? From the first day her baby hands held a sword, all the way to the day she brought you here, You got any idea how I earned that ticket of mine day after day? Rodion chose to fire that rage at the one who dared to speak those words. Then it must have been Yoshihide. Ungrateful little bitch. How dare you forget my ticket! And next up for the interview, our very own war hero, Rodion Bognatelli, takes that... Huh? What are you doing hiding in that corner? It's not like you at all. Wow, is that a picture you're looking at? Don't tell me it's your family photo or some shit like that. You know what we always say, Rodion? Soldiers looking longingly at their family photos are setting themselves up for a 99% chance of getting killed out there. Get the fuck out of here. Take that dumbass superstition with you. People of my caliber don't die over stupid crap like that. Oh wow, that sailor swagger you got there. Stacked up like a damn skyscraper. Well, guess your record speaks for itself. How's your winning streak looking now? Counting formal duels and one-on-one battlefield bouts. 13 and consecutive, huh? Get the damn number right if you're keeping score. It's 15. Dang, that's gotta be the highest winning streak on our front line, isn't it? And the poor bastards you oft weren't nobodies either. Every one of them was a big name with big game. Like it could have ended any other way. So, who's the kid in the photo? Your daughter? Yeah. Gotta thank your lucky stars she doesn't look anything like her mama, huh? I'm sorry, did you have a death wish? What was that? Hey, easy there. That was a compliment. Kid looks like a sweetheart, that's all. Smart and well behaved too, I bet. Unlike, well... Been too damn nice to you because you're a class 5 staff member, haven't I? Son of a bitch, the old me would have ripped an arm off you for a good lesson, you know that? Back in my day I wasn't... Underboss, Salto Capo, yeah, we know. But you're not one now, are you? Not for long, once the war is over. There it is again. That's enough jinxing to lose us the battle. Still, a winning streak this good? You've practically earned the Salto Capo title back already. Don't worry, we'll all be groveling at your feet when that happens, making damn sure to add a miss before Rodion. Huh. Miss Rodion? Nah, Miss Rodia will do. What's the difference? It's got a different echo, apparently, yeah. Miss Rodion doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Echo? Yup, something ticket. My daughter says sometimes. Miss Rodion, an enemy was spotted emerging from their camp. Judging by the broadcast setup, they're probably preparing to air a single combat. Please get ready to... Which motherfucker are you talking about? An elite employee of Elcor, I hear. Guess that's my cue then. Alright, you're up. Our fearless war hero is obviously going to add another glorious victory under her belt, so I'll just be the cameraman and enjoy the show from the sidelines. You do that. Make sure you keep your eyes open. Don't you forget to give me a big hand once I'm done. Rodion Boganatelli is going to strut back with another flashy victory. Textbook, you stay put and keep your eyes open, you hear me? If I may, Master, I I said eyes, not your damn mouth. Don't flap it at me, don't talk back, do what I tell you exactly as you're told. I'll have to hold that little bitch back and drill the Parliamentan style into her from baby steps. Here we go again, another lifetime of motherfucking work. If you get your ass killed too, then who's left to help me do all that shit, huh? Huh? I wasn't thinking. My sincerest apologies, Master. How many times do I have to repeat myself? Don't think hard, don't think easy, don't even think of thinking, and just do as you're told, capiche? Answer, capiche? Yes, ma'am. It hurts. Not this crap again. It was textbook I slapped, not you. Yoshihide touched her own cheek, as if Rodion's backhand had landed on her instead. Her future. Her past. All the strands of time she might never reach had perhaps flooded into her eyes, leaving their mark in her vision. She could no longer tell from which strand that pain had come. Only the stinging sensation remained, vividly and undeniably extant. I had to scrape out every last trace. Every last trace. Trapped within the entangled strands of time, Yoshihide could no longer recognize the present, the now, for what it was. Only pain and agony remained etched in her, only hatred and resentment for her nurse father. I'll cut everything up, sever and burn all of it just because I want to. And so she keeps swinging her blade in desperation. The Parliamentan style is indeed a masterful school of swordsmanship, but why does the House of Spiders need it? It was not a question Rodion had never asked herself before. Nor had she ever fully rid herself of her doubt about that vaguely phrased purpose of the house, the creation of the blade that cuts through all. At one point she had tried to dig down to the root of the matter herself. After failure upon failure, however, Rodion chose not to climb back up, but keep sinking to the endless pit. An endless pit where she didn't have to understand the purpose of all things at the House of Spiders. Nevertheless, Rodion never stopped imparting the Parliamentan style to her student. It began as an outlet for her frustrations, a vague hope that if the girl could at least learn the Parliamentan style to perfection, it might make some damn difference. Then it changed. The girl absorbed everything taught to her like a sponge, and Rodion found herself liking the way the child stuck with her, pressing close to a woman everyone else avoided like the plague. But by the end, teaching the Parliamentan style was no longer a lesson. It was the last thing left for her to do, and she had run out of all other excuses. At least in those days when Rodion raised her hand against the girl she thought of as her daughter. Her ticket. She had still bothered to dress it up with justifications, however thin they were. You broke the thumb's code of conduct. You move too slowly. You are not doing as you're told. You have the nerve to cry when you've done nothing right. However, when she finally learned that even the ticket she'd put her trust in was not a golden one she dreamed of, she could not contain the rage boiling up inside of her. Justifications, excuses really, no longer mattered before her anger. She lashed out and struck the new girl without any particular reason. Never once did Rodion understand that the one who had set aflame the few scant threads of the spider, the threads that might have led her to the golden chance she'd spent so long craving. I'm sorry. Please tell me why. Why you're hitting me so I can do better. Weakling. Was none other than herself. Weakling. Weakling. That's fair. Just look at me. Can't say I've got much of a comeback. Still better than the other weaklings who are out cold or croaked. Tell me what happened while you can still think straight. Well, you did manage to burn off the vermin's wings. At least you'd accomplished something before you ended up like this. The Lord of Flies. Reflexes bordering on precognition with extraordinary combat capability. A monstrosity armed with corrosive fluid that can melt anything. The ability to swoop in and out of battles with airborne hit-and-run tactics. G-Corps' decisive weapons clearly sat outside the average standards of war weaponry. But other wings also possessed capabilities that more than matched the Lord of Flies' own. The Lord of Flies had already been slain a couple of times. First by the endless waves of R-Corps mercenaries, and once more by T-Corps' unthinkable inventions and other prestigious fixer officers. Before long, however, it would appear on the front lines again. And once command decided that the loss exchange ratio was no longer within the acceptable range, research attempts began for ways to counter G-Corps' Game Changer. And they discovered that in its moment of death, the Lord of Flies would leave behind a unique entity known as the Maggot Prince. The higher-ups didn't tell us what it takes for the Maggot Prince to metamorphose into Lord of Flies. But the vermin won't stop spawning back if it's not killed before transforming, is that it? Yeah, to stop that we had to limit as much of its mobility as possible, remove any chance for the Maggot Prince to hide or escape. The Association's flames burned away one pair of wings in the infestation zone as planned. Our ranks broke halfway through, things got real ugly for a bit. But I managed to deal with the vermin's remaining wing before you got here. Lucky, huh? Well, seems as this is as far as luck would take me. Half his upper body melted away, the fixer directed a bitter gaze around him. Countless soldiers had fought beyond their limits, but they were nowhere near felling G-Corps' bioweapon. And the only reinforcements that arrived at that hell was a single fighter. Dawn had begun to settle on the battlefield. With eyes full of doubt, the fixer finally gave voice to the question lodged in his throat. Do you think you can finish that monster off? Fixer at the dawn. Hey. Rodion stepped forward with a savage smirk. She swept her gaze over the battlefield like she already owned it, standing straight with the arrogance of her hero marching at the head of the triumphal procession. Each firm step she took spoke of an unshakable confidence she would win the fight. Don't you know who I am? Of course I do, I've seen you fight before. Rodion, a familiar, Bognatelli. There isn't anyone on this front who doesn't know your name. Huh, so you do know. Then stop fidgeting like some scared puppy and get your ass to the rear. Anyone who had seen Rodion fight a duel, even once, knew better than to dismiss her arrogance for mere bluff. Because they knew that every duel she fought would end with a head lopped off, followed by a spectacular flourish of the sword. Rodion's sword, always. You know, I'm different from the rest of you cannon fodder. I don't lose duels, never have, never will. Those on the front lines had no choice but to trust in the confidence exuding from the way Rodion's coattails billowed behind her steps. In battle, knowledge bears a weight no fighter can afford to ignore. What kind of opening is the opponent prone to target? Which foot do they withdraw first when dodging a blow? What options do they reach for when backed into a corner? Which sword stance comes out when they have to measure each breath in a prolonged duel? Know how the opponent aims the edge of their blade, and the duel will lean into one's favour. Ah, her bad habits rubbed off on you. I suppose you really are cut from her cloth. What's with that stupid little dumbass? Thought you'd have a shot because you're relying on a sword fighting style I didn't teach you? Hoping to keep Rodion from predicting her movements, Yoshihide tried sheathing her sword to reassume another stance. I'm the one who taught your mummy her sword fighting style, you know. Only for Rodion's rapier to intercept her and cut the attempt short. You just can't with greenhorns who haven't had a taste of the war. Put what you learn to use, don't just blindly swing that sword, do it right! Shut up. I don't want any advice from you. He can't close the distance and I'm not some thick-skulled idiot like Utis, who prefers eating hits with those augmentation tattoos of hers. What's your damn plan with that long-ass sword draw, Showing off? Look at me, I can even cut through space. Is that it? You're hardly in a position to play calm, are you? I know that eye of yours is close to overheating. The primer strikes and the acceleration round it fires. It's the opening strike that won Rodion victory in countless duels. Her rapier shoots forward in a blink, piercing through the erratic movement and straight into the heart of the Lord of Flies. The fighter of mediocre skill would have died then and there, unable to defend against the thrust. But the same could not be said for the entity she's facing. For fuck's sake, your wings are burned off, can't you at least act like you're wobbling around, asshole? I'd have to move at least twice as fast before this rapier can so much as graze the bastard. You talk too much. In that instant, her precognition twists and bends. The prediction she had seen mere seconds ago is overwritten by something entirely different. The eye darts frantically from one direction to the other. The direction from which the wind blows, the density of the clouding dust, the faint fluttering of her sleeves. The eye braids every last clue together and derives a single possible outcome from it. It's a computation that has never once betrayed Rodion's expectations. Dodged. The instant Rodion registered the attack, she snapped her head aside. A single black line sliced past her face. Cold brushed against and across her cheek. A few strands of hair were cut off and scattered into the air as Rodion scoffed in disgust. Disgusting fucking fly. So that's what you're firing? Hooking up half-digested corpses? That's some nasty shit right there. Rodion's gaze followed the missed shot to where the corrosive fluid had pooled, hissing as it ate into the ground. Several corpses lay half submerged in it, their forms sloughing apart into shapeless pulp. Smoke rising from the revolting mass smelled like rotting human flesh, a stench too foul to put into words. A fist came driving straight toward her. Rodion caught its force on the tip of her blade and diverted it aside. She read every erratic flurry of attacks motion by motion, driving her rapier into openings. Whenever she realizes the monster has seen through her path, she changes the arc of her attack with the recoil of her bullets. The building recoil is all it takes. With each clash, the Parliamentarian style accelerates. And eventually, Rodion's footwork, which has been trailing behind one pace at a time, begins to catch and lock into the rhythm of the Lords of Flies' assault. In one swift turn, the Lord of Flies sweeps around to Rodion's back. An attack from a dead angle aimed to break through her advantage. However, got you right where I want you, prey. The instant a chilling metallic clink rang out, doubt flickers in the entity's eyes. The Lord of Flies didn't predict wrong. It was simply that, for one brief moment, Rodion's eye had seen farther ahead. Computation predicted the future outcome more perfectly than her opponent's. Rodion fires a lone bullet that had been lodged in place of an acceleration round, a fragmenting, armor-piercing ammunition. The bullet tore forward with a deafening shock. For the first time since the duel began, the Lord of Flies lost its balance and crashed hard into the ground. What's wrong, bug? That one got under your shell? a mere underling of the thumb. You dare! Bad news for you. This one's gonna hurt just a little more. Jagged metal shrapnel flew in every direction, ripping through everything nearby. I win. Convinced of her own victory, Rodion moved in at once to collect the insect's head. But in that instant, one of the Lord of Flies' arms ballooned up right in front of her face. Oh shit! Your reaction is slowed. The more variables there were to predict, and the harder those variables became to read, the faster the eye of precognition would overheat. Rodion had already survived many close calls in this duel by drawing answers from its foresight. But when the overheated eye failed her for just a heartbeat, corrosive fluid exploded from the Lord of Flies and ate through her leg. The acid of the Lord of Flies is no less lethal than the deadliest venoms out there. The vicious wound it leaves is the kind no common treatment could mend, the kind no budget-priced singularity could patch up. Still, not every useful soldier chooses the very center of the battlefield of their stage. Even this seemed to have been a development well within Rodion's prediction. Shit, this hurts like hell. But you know, the thing is, I'm actually pretty fucking important, the big name and all. As she fished out a single special bullet that a certain useful someone from command had given her to her prior to the duel. People of my caliber, we carry one of these, just in case. A sliver of green light flashes across the cylinder, and the bullet burrows straight into Rodion's heart. From the bullet flows tears shed by a being in another's stead. Now it courses through Rodion's veins. Helioposis bullet. K-Core's singularity, condensed to its most potent form, mends her melted leg in the blink of an eye. And it doesn't stop there. The tears also restore the overheated eye to the original state Rodion pictures in her mind. Thought that was the end of me. Surprised? Didn't expect that, did ya? Good as new now. Really gets under your skin, huh? Join the winning side if you're jealous. Although she threw the line out like a victory cry, Rodion wasn't exactly in a position to brag. She had already used every decent high-grade round she had, and without the soldatos to provide her extra supplies, there was no other crutch she could rely on. Her body had been restored to perfect condition, but her chances had not. Using the helioposis bullet didn't mean she could suddenly come up with a breakthrough plan to defeat her opponent. Despite the odds being against her, Rodion's fighting spirit did not so much as waver. She held up her sword again and brandished it in the same spectacular flourish. Fucking dog shit. Keep swinging that thing and you're gonna become a ruined. And you're gonna shut down, you know? There won't be a damn thing left to remember even if you win. I know, that's why I'm severing it all. Nothing. Nothing must be allowed to remain here. Not memory, not time, not even the heart to hold them. That is the ending you, who made me into what I am, and I will meet. An honest one-on-one duel. The calorimeter style is known to accelerate the longer a duel lasts. A duel of this kind couldn't be more ideal for a practitioner of that style, but this goddamn blade trail. The chaotic trajectories of the sword and the myriad blade trails carved into the very air put the brake on Rodion's acceleration. The more her movements accelerated, the more the severed space around her closed in, leaving her less and less room to stand. Despite the odds being against her, Rodion's fighting spirit did not so much as waver. She held up her sword again and brandished it in the same spectacular flourish. As long as the acceleration could bring me to the future I foresaw. Rodion's mind began to race. She had no idea what the Lord of Flies had learned while fighting the employees of the other wings and Fixer associations. But it was easy to guess that the vermin was blindsided by the fact that a bullet to the heart had actually healed her instead of killing her immediately. You make too much noise. Can you not fight quietly? Rodion did not bother to put that thought into words. This opponent's killing blows would always come to the head, the brain. Putting that trivial fact into account on her own was enough to slow down the overload in the eye of precognition. A clash. 2, then 3. With every clash, the sounds of sword and gunshot began to lag farther behind the motion itself. The future her eye had shown her drew closer and closer. The sword movements of the Parliamentan style began to gain speed. The rapier and the blade, and Rodion herself too. At the end of the next instant, the duel was wrapped up once and for all, with a singular point drilling into the neck of the Lord of Flies. And the hunt comes to a close. A singular point drilling through scores of afterminute images. The lightning-fast attack can neither be severed nor avoided, nor parried. Rodion believed in the force that directed the arc of Yoshihide's blade, the force of hatred and hostility towards her and the other nurse fathers. The decisive blow would be delivered not by the Dahui Star's blade, but instead by a weapon that would guarantee the utter annihilation of her enemy. The Tianxia Star's blade. The precognition born of that belief pierced the waves of time rushing over Yoshihide and corrected the reverse causality once more. And the hunt comes to a close. In that split second before death, a flash of insight finds Rodion. Her lips curled with a triumphant smile. Victory was within reach. But in that same instant, there was another in the corridor, who had been waiting for the opening born from that very same precognition. Only a fellow practitioner of the Parliamentan style could have spotted that opportunity. It was an attack from a blind spot that could neither be predicted nor blocked unless the eye had room to compute the variable of another enemy. The arc of the sword, perfected over thousands of repetitions, pierced the Rodion's heart. You! The heartbeat of the thumb nurse father began to still into a faint echo. And only then, the eyes of the boy, whose body still bore the bruises his master's beatings. You little Heathcliff, you dare betray me after everything? Finally stirred with a flicker of living light. I mean, we already knew it was coming because I did show the Heathcliff one. Man, that was actually a very long Uptie story, wasn't it? So I guess until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
나눠 먹는 건 좋은데 감독 사서님한테만 걸리지 않게. 다 끝나면 중앙 쪽 콘실리에래. 그 새끼한테 모조리 받아내야겠어. 내가 쎄 빠지게 고생한 보람은 있어야 할 거 아니야. 내 계급도 되찾고 돈도 좀 뜯어내서 반병신된 티켓 몸뚱아리도 고치고 교본도 그 실력이면 카포 자리 하나 정도는 나쁘지 않네.